Welcome to Soul Endeavors. I'm Lisa, and I'm your host at soulendeavors.com. The purpose of Soul Endeavors is to allow me to express my soul purpose, to invite others to connect with their soul and their own soul purpose, and most importantly, to be a voice contributing to the restoration of the United States of America to its own soul role and purpose and calling in this world. It is August 2025. Fortune favors the brave. That has been true, and that saying goes back to at least year 161 BC. This will be the first of a six-part series on the values that are associated with the flag of the United States of America. My hope, and I understand it's a bold thought, my hope is that during the 2026 election cycle, the citizens of our country will unite together against all odds to reclaim control of our government, to restore our country to a place where we value freedom, independence, and the wellness of the citizens of this country. We've lost our way. Country is on the verge of destruction if it hasn't already passed a point of no return. And in large part, that is because the citizens have failed to uphold their duty to hold the government itself accountable. In the United States of America, the government is accountable to the people, not the other way around. Our government has failed to satisfy their essential duties to provide safety and security for our country, to provide circumstances and to utilize the tax dollars that they receive to create opportunities for the individuals who are citizens here to benefit from independence and the freedom to have a life that has value to them. If things weren't already out of control enough during the COVID era, the government seized tremendous amounts of power, and it is loath to return any of that power to the citizens who are living here. Our justice system is not just for many, many people living in this country, and that includes people accused of crimes, that includes people who are victims of crimes, that includes families who are being separated through our family court and juvenile court systems and our child protection system. And that includes people who are looking to operate businesses and create sources of income for themselves in a manner that reflects the values of the country. There are brave people here, and those brave people need to come together between now and the year 2026 to really establish a sense of authority and to reclaim the power that we're entitled to claim. I am a proud American. I would die for this country. I am as brave of an American as any soldier who would take any battlefield and lay out their life. I would lay down my life for this country. And right now, I'm laying down my life to express myself and do my best to help this country get back on its feet and to unite the people. So we're going to start with the color red. The first flag of the United States of America was adopted in 1777. There's some debate as to whether Betsy Ross was the person who designed the first flag, but we do know that she worked as an upholsterer in Pennsylvania and that she was involved in the manufacture of flags. The first flag was adopted, as I said, in 1977, but the red, white, and blue colors of the flag did not come into any formal standing until the year 1782. And in 1782, there was a report to Congress on the flag. And at that time, the color red, was identified as being symbolic of bravery and valor. The color white was indicated to be symbolic of innocence and purity. And the color blue was indicated to represent justice, perseverance, and vigilance. So we are going to explore each of those concepts over the course of the next 6 weeks. And we're going to begin today with the concept of bravery. Bravery is also known as courage, pluckiness, nerve, daring, audacity, boldness, dauntlessness, manfulness, heroism. A brave person is described as having a backbone, having a spine, being spirited, being determined, having resolve, having guts, demonstrating grit, and having spunk, otherwise known as moxie, or having cojones, or having balls, or being ballsy. To be brave is the opposite of to be cowardly or fearful. There is a certain strength in the ability to act notwithstanding fear. If you're taking an action that you're actually afraid to take, but you decide to do it anyway, you are demonstrating bravery. Bravery is a conscious decision to face a situation or face a circumstance and to take necessary action to deal with that. And so many people in the United States are acting in brave ways. We have mothers who are burying their children because they've been shot dead in the street. And those parents are demonstrating bravery when they get out of bed in the morning and they bury their loved person. We have bravery occurring in our schools where children are practicing hiding under desks because there might be a school shooter in their midst. The teachers who teach in those schools are also demonstrating bravery because they willingly put themselves into a situation where they understand that they may not be safe. We have people living in tents on the side of railroad tracks, addicted to drugs. Those people are brave. They're brave just to stay alive. To stay alive and live in those circumstances requires a certain level of bravery. Our police officers are brave. They get out on the road every day and try to do right by the American public. Most police officers are firefighters, are nurses, are teachers. These are all exemplary examples of bravery in the modern era. The people living in America shouldn't need to feel brave to get up and go about their life. And we need our government to create an environment where that does not occur. Bravery is a fundamental value in the United States of America, and it is associated directly with our ideals of independence, justice, freedom, and self-governance. Most Americans, or at least many, believe that if they vote in an election and make an occasional appearance at a town hall meeting or get out and protest something that they disagree with, that they are fulfilling their duties as a citizen. Nothing could be further from the truth. Right now, our country is in so much debt that our children and our grandchildren may never be able to repay it. Our lawmakers do not know where the money went. Our lawmakers have no plan to get our budget under control. Furthermore, the lawmakers, and I say this without any disrespect to any individual person, but powerful people with a lot of money and powerful corporations with a lot of money have bought our lawmakers. And those lawmakers are making decisions, if they're making any decisions at all, they're making decisions based on the interests of those powerful financial influences rather than what is best for the people. This lack of uh, diligence in holding our government accountable has opened the door to socialists coming in and running for mayor in a great American city. Um, Most Americans do not want to see our country go down a socialist path, but understand that the United States of America was only ever an experiment. And the experiment was to see whether or not average people, citizens, could maintain a system of government where the accountability ran from the people to the government and not the other way around. That experiment right now is going off the rails. There's a lot of division here, and I want to talk a little bit about how bravery fits in to the various religious groups and philosophical perspectives of the American public, demonstrate that the concept of bravery is something that we can unite around together. One of the things about the Pledge of Allegiance that is alienating are the words under God. And the Christian right in this country has taken steps that contribute to division. That's very unfortunate. In order to unite, we need to be able to respect people from all faiths, from all cultures, from all lifestyles, all choices. But I'm going to focus on religion because that is where I feel right now the most attention should be paid. So certainly Christianity is a religion that is adhered to by a slight majority of people in America. The Bible itself encourages bravery. The Bible makes it very clear that it is not wrong to be fearful. The world itself and life itself presents situations and circumstances that are scary. But within the Bible, we are taught that fear should not drive our decision making. Instead, we are asked to be brave and invest faith, obey Christ, and to obey Christ and have faith in the Lord in every situation, regardless of the personal cost involved in doing that. Bravery in the Christian faith is the ultimate act of dedication to Christ. We move on now to Hinduism. And in Hinduism, bravery is not just about physical strength or physical bravery, but it also encompasses mental and emotional um, and moral courage and the ability to confront fear. I don't want to mess the pronunciation of this, but in the Bhagavad Gita, bravery and courage is essential to fulfilling the moral and ethical obligations that each individual bears. And it is the obligation of each individual to take righteous action both as individuals, but also in society as a whole. So people who are following the Hindu faith um, should be able to get behind concept of bravery to the same degree as Christians are able to get behind the concept of bravery. Moving on into Buddhism, um, the Buddhist teachings highlight and require bravery. So the true meaning of bravery within the Buddhist faith is to not be afraid of yourself. That's a very interesting concept. I would be inclined to agree with it, that, one of the greatest fears that we face is to look inward. Um, and that's what I'm asking people to do with the country, right? We want to look inward. So bravery is the courage within Buddhism. Bravery is the courage to accept what is, right? It's defined as the courage to be, the courage to be all of yourself, the courage to accept life as it is, without without deception of the self. I would argue that very much aligns with what I'm talking about, which is we cannot just go about our daily lives and deceive ourselves that the government is going to run itself. We need to be willing to look at all of it through an honest lens and then take the action that we need to take in a brave and forthright way. So people who practice Buddhism, um, I believe, would be able to join around uh, the ideal value of bravery in the citizenry of our country. There are a substantial number of people in America who are Jewish, and within the Jewish tradition, bravery is viewed as a trait that requires development. So bravery is about doing what is right rather than what is easy. And true strength and true courage in the Jewish faith comes from trusting in the Lord to fulfill the individual potential, right? So within the Jewish faith, the individual is definitely a focus of the faith, but we look to the Lord to fulfill that individual potential. Very, very much what I'm looking to do here at Soul Endeavors. I had to do a lot of work to do that on my own individual person before I was in any type of position to come out and try to have an influence in a broader societal type of way. So, in fact, I have a sign on my wall that says, do what is right and not what is easy. So I didn't realize until I did the research for this vlog that, really I have a Jewish sign on my desk. A religion here in the United States that's gotten a bad rap or a short shrift that we cannot afford to have right now is Islam. And in the Islamic faith, courage and bravery are required from every Muslim, male and female. To be brave within the Islamic faith means to stand up, to defend the truth, to do good, and to prevent evil. And there are many facets of the concept of bravery within the Islamic faith. But the core element is that Muslims must, in every circumstance, display valor. All of that, of course, connected to Allah and the need to serve Islam by pleasing Allah. So within the Islamic faith, my expectation would be that people of the Islamic faith living here in America as citizens will be easily able to join into a collective action for the citizens to gather together in bravery to reclaim our nation. So that leaves, yeah, obviously haven't covered all the religions, but we do have a certain percentage of the American population who consider themselves to be atheists. Christians, of course, and particularly the Christian right, tend to discount the atheists, but we cannot discount the atheists. Atheists demonstrate bravery and they value bravery, right? Because to believe in nothing, to believe that there is no God, to believe that there is nothing after this life in its own meaning requires bravery, right? There's no hope for salvation. There's no explanation for our existence. Just life, straight up, no chaser. That's brave. That's very brave. And there was actually a great article written by Richard Dawkins. The name of that article is called The Intellectual and Moral Courage of Atheism. And it is a good read for anyone who is interested in understanding atheism a little bit better. Obviously, there are many aspects of individuals in America other than religion that have an impact on how people see the world and what they're willing and unwilling to do. But bravery, I think, is pretty easy concept to gather around. And in in this country here in America, um, the people can and should replace the government when the government fails to fulfill its essential duties. It needs to be government without oppression. There needs to be justice. There needs to be fairness. And the rule of law needs to drive decision making. The power in the United States of America is vested in the people. It is our right and our responsibility to be brave and take control of our nation at this point in time. So every generation needs to be brave, or the United States of America will cease to exist as a country. Will no longer serve as a beacon of hope to anybody at any point in the future. We're unique. We have something good. And in order to salvage it, we need to come together. So thank you for listening. I will see you next week. We are doing a 6-week series on the American flag and the values attached to the flag. This week, we spoke about bravery. Be brave, go in peace, and I'll see you next time. Thank you.